Daryl Jackson, FFG, first presentation. John and Mary, I appreciate you giving me the chance to get together with you. I don't know if there's anything that we have that can help you. However, what I'm going to do is go through the areas that we work in, increasing cash flow, eliminating debt, building long-term capital financial independence, and reducing taxes, just to name a few. We specialize in life insurance and annuities, how they could potentially shave years off of your retirement date. After that, if you're interested, if there's any interest on your part, what I'll do is I'll gather some information and I'll get back to you with some specifics. Now, the good thing about this, there's nothing to buy, so sit back and relax. All right. First thing I want to do is tell you a little bit about the Federal Financial Group. The Federal Financial Group is a national service company. We work with insurance companies and other financial institutions, many of which have been in business for over 100 years with over $1 billion in assets. Now, what we do is teach people about money, how it works, and how it can work better for you. Our goal is one thing, and that is to help people become financially independent. Now, what does financial independence mean? Financial independence is all the money that you've saved over the years. Once you start drawing interest on that, that interest replaces your salary or the money that you receive from a business. At that point, you don't have to work anymore. You are financially independent. Now, if you decide to continue to work, you can do that, but you don't have to. Financial independence. Does that make sense? Great. Now, what I want to talk to you about are some of the challenges and issues that face us today and provide some solutions for you. Let's talk about over the last 10 years. Over the last 10 years, incomes have increased, surely. However, the cost of living has also increased. Everything as far as maintaining a home has gone up. The cost of food, the cost of gas, maintenance on a car, everything has gone up. And quite frankly, incomes have not kept up. So what's happening is people are going into debt. They're pulling out the plastic, going into further debt. They have a lack of security, spending more money than they make, and not saving anything. Okay, savings have been depleted and no one's saving any money. What we found is that out of 100 people who are turning age 65 today, only four are financially independent, which means only 4 people have incomes of over $35,000 or less. Excuse me, over $35,000. Only 4. The other 96 people are doing one of 3 things. They're either living off family, living off charity, or more commonly, still working at age 65. You go to any Walmart, you'll see them greeting you at the door. As a matter of fact, I got a story. It was just a little while ago. It was a cold, rainy night, and I had my kids with me. We were going to a Wendy's. And I remember getting out of the car, it was raining, it was cold, it was kind of cold that goes right to the bone. And we walked in Wendy's, and the first thing I saw when I walked in the door was an old guy. He was old. He had to be 70, 75, even older than that, sweeping the floor. So we stood in line, got our food, we sat down, me and my 2 kids, we were eating. And I looked over a few tables away. The guy was on his hands and knees scraping gum off the bottom of the table. And I thought to myself, wow. So we finished eating. Me and my kids were leaving, and like I said, it was a rainy day. The kids were running into the car, getting jumped in the car. It was real cold. And I looked across the parking lot, and I saw that same guy dragging trash bags across the parking lot to the dumpster. And I thought to myself, wow, this guy did not plan on doing that 20, 25 years ago. But he's broke. He has no money. He has to work. Now, what we do is provide you with some solutions, okay? We weave 7 steps together to help you build financial uh, independence quicker. What we hope to do is help you provide financial independence and reduce your retirement date. I'm going to go through these 7 steps real quickly, but I want you to do me a favor. I want you to think about which of these 7 steps are most important to you, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, okay? The first step is inspect what to expect. Now, in order to understand how money works, you need to understand, where your money's going. You have money coming in, money going out. You need to understand, where are your expenditures. What we do is we have a tool that we use that helps you track your expenditures so that you're able to understand where this money is going. What we try to do here is help you understand that there's additional monies there that you may or may not know that you have, okay? So you need to be able to inspect what to expect. Secondly, to increase cash flow. What does cash flow mean? Well, cash flow is the money that you have coming in and the money that you have going out at the end of the month is whatever you have left over, okay? So all the money that you have coming in after you pay all your bills, whatever you have left over is your cash flow. And what we try to do is help people with their cash flow. Let me ask you this. Do you receive a refund from the federal government, the state or local government at the end of the year, or do you write a check? Great. I had a client just a few days ago who told me that he receives about $3,000 to $4,000 every year as a refund. And I said, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you understand that you are giving the government $3,000 or $4,000 a year of your own money? They're giving you 0% interest and then giving you your money back a year later. Does that make any sense? And I said, no, that doesn't make any sense. And it really doesn't. What we try to do is show you how you can put that money back in your current budget to either reduce your debt or, to possibly put money forward, save money forward to reduce, again, your potential retirement date. Does that make sense? Great. Step 3 is eliminate debt. We have a tool called the Debt Eliminator. It is a program, a software program that we input your debt information. We look at what you're currently spending on a monthly basis and how we can reduce your debt, paying off your debt quicker. Normally it's several years. And also what the Debt Eliminator can also do is take your current payment, show you how to reduce your debt, pay it off quicker, as well as take some additional money from the money that you're making, the money that you're paying right now into a savings so you could potentially pay off your debt faster and have some savings. It's a really awesome program. Fourth is developing an emergency fund. This is a biggie. Most people do not have an emergency fund. So when something happens, an emergency comes up, the first thing they're going to do is go in their pocket and pull out the plastic. Okay? So that $1,800 transmission that they need 2 or 3 years later becomes a $3,000 transmission. What we suggest is getting an emergency plan in place, and it consists of 4 different things. Firstly, it should be in a safe place. Secondly, it should receive a better rate of return than a checking account. Third, it should be completely liquid. So if you need to get to that money, you can get to it. And fourth, it should be separate from your checking account and funded systematically. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever tried to save money, save an emergency fund in a checking account? It just doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. First of all, it's free money. If you need $100 here, $100 there, it's from your checking account, it's gone. You don't have any emergency fund there. So we suggest that it be separate from your checking account and systematic, which means that, for example, you get a money market account. It's going to give you a little bit better interest rate than the checking account. It's out of sight, out of mind. You could take, for example, $50 a month from your checking account, systematically put it into the money market account, and over a period of time, that money continues to grow. So that when the emergency comes up, you have that a separate account that has money in it. It prevents you from pulling out the credit card and also going into retirement accounts and possibly facing, the penalties. Does that make sense? Great. 5 is protect what you have. We use life insurance as an immediate estate to protect your family against loss of life. When a spouse or a mother or father dies, it can be devastating to the family. Not only is that you lost a loved one, but you also lost their income. So the family's quality of life can change drastically if there's no proper protection in place. Well, we use life insurance a little bit differently. We look at your financial needs, and we also try to develop a program that provides cash flow for the family. Okay. Step 6. Step 6 is the biggest, and if you listen to me, this could change the quality of your life. This is the step that most people like the most. Step 6 is about building long-term income or long-term savings. Now, 2 elements come into effect here. 2 battles that you have to win in order to win the money game. Because if you don't incorporate these 2, and I have to be strong with you here, if you don't incorporate these 2, you'll probably never become financially independent. And if you do, it's going to be a long time down the road. These 2 battles are, 1, the inflation battle, and 2, the tax battle. We'll talk about the inflation battle in just a second. But the tax battle, okay, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep, how much money you save. If you're not careful, taxes can really hurt you. Now, let's talk about inflation. Are you familiar with the rule of 72? Great. I'm going to explain it to you. It's an awesome rule. It's something that everybody should know. Let's say, for example, you have a savings account or any account that you're getting some interest. Okay. Let's say, for example, this account is giving you 4%. You take that interest rate and divide it by the number 72 to determine how long it takes for your money to double. 4 divided into 72 is 18. So it takes, at 4%, 18 years for your money to double. Now let's say, for example, you have $100. You put it in a savings account and just leave it there for the next 18 years. So your $100 at 4% for 18 years. In 18 years, at 4%, that $100 will grow to $200. Let's say, for example, you do the same thing again. You leave that $200 in that account at 4% for another 18 years. So it's 36 years, you'll have how much? Correct, $400. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. Will $400 36 years from now buy what $100 buys today? Probably not. And that's a big problem, okay? What you do is you're losing purchasing power. And you may never retire, okay? The big, big problem. Now, let's have an example. There was a guy, 29 years old, who had $10,000, and he wanted to, he put his money away. The $10,000 at 4% for 18 years, his money at age 65 went to $40,000. So over a 36-year period at 4%, that $10,000 grew to $40,000. Now this guy is 65 years old, house is paid for, the kids are gone, and he wants to retire. But he has $40,000. John and Mary, how long is $40,000 going to last? Yeah, you're right. Maybe a year. If he's frugal, maybe a year and a half. The way you guys spend money, probably 6 months. I'm only kidding. But yeah, he's $40,000, maybe a year, and he's out of money. Big problem. He's 65 years old. He no longer has time. Okay? And he's out of money. He's, again, working at Walmart. Now, let's say, for example, if we could have helped this guy get a higher rate of return, okay? Let's say, for example, anywhere from 6 to 12%. Would his financial situation be any different? Surely it would. Let's take, for example, at 6%. 6 divided by 72 is 12. So every 12 years, at 6%, his money would double. At age 65, he has $80,000. Let's use 8%. 8 divided by 72 is 9. Every 9 years, his money doubles. At age 65, he has $160,000. And let's take 12%. 12 divided by 72 is 6. Every 6 years, his money would have doubled. At age 65, that $10,000 has grown to $640,000. $640,000. Now, John and Mary, the only difference between this guy and this guy is an interest rate. This guy got 12%, this guy got 4%. And it's a difference of $600,000. Now, let me ask you a question. Isn't that an important principle to understand? Sure it is. Now, it's not a question of having $10,000. That's not the important part here. The important part, John and Mary, is taking a small amount, a comfortable amount, putting it away on a monthly basis, getting a decent rate of return. Because if you do that over a period of time, the money that you have invested will be out earning the money that you're going out every day and trying to earn. Does that make sense? Is that an important principle to understand? Great. Now, if you're putting away money, okay, if you're saving money, where are people saving money? They're putting money in, the banks, credit unions, fixed accounts. And quite frankly, a lot of fixed accounts aren't even giving 4% today. So if we can have a place where we can get a better rate of return, say anywhere from 6 to 12%, how can we do that? Okay? Well, there's 3 strategies. There's 3 strategies. The first is the fixed account. And I'm going to go through these 3 with you. The fixed account. The fixed account is CDs, savings accounts. You're going to the bank, okay? And why are you putting your money in these fixed accounts? Because your money is safe, guaranteed not to lose any of your principal. No losses, right? But the problem here, John and Mary, is you have the risk of inflation. These accounts, again, aren't even keeping up with the rate of inflation. Okay? Inflation over the last 30 years has been 3%, 4%. And quite frankly, you're not even getting that in these accounts. So you have the risk of inflation, of purchasing power. Let's go to the far end of the spectrum. The second strategy is the stock market. A lot of people put money into stocks and the mutual funds, okay? And the reason they do that is because they can make money, they can profit, okay? The stocks go up, they make more money. But there's one problem with that. They can also go down. And when they go down, they lose money, okay? So you You could have losses. There's no guarantees there. With the third strategy, the index strategy, it's based off the Standard & Poor's 500, okay? Which means that all of your principal is guaranteed, okay? It's protected. Your principal you can never lose any of your principal. All of the interest that you earned is also protected. So your principal and your interest is protected. It can never go down. You can't lose any money. The great thing about this is, again, it's tied to the Standard & Poor's 500 index, which over the last 25 years has averaged around 10%. Not bad, okay? Now, the great thing about this is not only is your principal and interest protected, but you do not participate in the down market, okay? Which means you will never lose any money with the index strategy. Now, John and Mary, based off of these three strategies, which one makes the most sense for you? The index strategy. The index strategy is becoming very popular. Let me give you an example. Well, let me tell you a little bit of how the index strategy works. I'm just going to give you a quick overview. It is tied to the Standard & Poor's 500 index. Are you familiar with the Standard & Poor's 500? Well, great. Let me explain it to you. The Standard & Poor's 500 is made up of the 500 most capitalized companies in the U.S. Okay, these companies include over 100 different industries, including healthcare, utilities, technology, a lot of different industries. The Standard & Poor's 500 index makes up about 70% of the American economy. So when the market is up, when the index is up, you benefit from it. When the index is down, you participate in none of the downsides. The thing about this is, John and Mary, you're never going to hit a home run. You're never going to get 30%. You're never going to get 40%. It's not going to happen. What this will do is hit singles and doubles for you. You will, if the market goes up 20%, you're capped at 11.5. So over the last 25 years, as I mentioned to you, the Standard & Poor's index has averaged about 10%. Let me give you an example of how this works. Let's say, for example, you had $10,000 and you wanted to invest. Put $10,000 the first year, you get a 10% profit, okay? So your money increases from $10,000 to $11,000. The second year it does exactly the same. It goes up 10% from $11,000 to $12,100. Third year, the S&P index crashes. S&P 500 crashes. It goes down 20%. Now let me ask you a question, John and Mary. Can this happen? Absolutely, it has. If you were invested with the index strategy, your money will hold at the 12,100. You do not participate in the down market. If you had been invested in the stock market and went down 20%, your $12,100 would now be $9,600. Now, do you see why the index approach is becoming very popular? It makes a lot of sense because you don't participate in the down market and your principal and your interest earned will always be protected. You really can't lose any money. So this is becoming a very, very popular strategy today. Now I have an example that's going to really shock you. I want to show something that shocks you. Not only do you have to win the rate of return battle, but you also have to win the tax battle. Okay. Now there was a guy who was 30 years old, went into a bank and asked Mr. Banker. He said, "Mr. Banker, I want to have $1 million at age 60, 30 years from now. What would I have to save on a monthly basis to have $1 million at age 60?" So the banker went back, played with his calculator, made some calculations, came back and told the guy, "Listen, In order to have $1 million at age 60, 30 years from now, at 5%, you would have to put away $1,639 a month. The guy looked at the banker and said, that's not going to happen. There's no way I can afford to do that. Walked out of the bank, never saved a dime, and today he's a greeter at Walmart. Now let's say, for example, let's say we could just win one of those battles, a rate of return battle, okay? Instead of getting 5%, we could get 10% over a 30-year period to save for $1 million. Instead of putting away $1,639 a month, goes down to $900 a month at 10%. Can you save $900 a month? Can most people save $900 a month? Some can, probably most people couldn't. But the point is, winning the rate of return battle, going from 5% to 10%, it drops that payment from over $700 a month. That's very important. Now let's say, for example, let's win both the battles, the rate of return battle and the tax battle. Take that same 10%, but instead of paying taxes on all the interest over the 30 years, we defer the interest. So at 10% with deferred interest over 30 years, to get $1 million, he would have to save just $438 a month. That's over $500 a month less without tax. Can most people save $438 a month? Yeah, a lot of people can. I would say most people can. You probably can. Okay? Now, it's really not about it's really about winning the tax battle as well as the rate of return battle. Okay, it's very important that we understand this, because this really could potentially shave years off of your retirement date. Now, let me ask you something, John and Mary. If you were totally financially independent right now, you had enough in your nest egg that you could retire, you didn't have to work anymore, what are some of your dreams, your goals? What were some of the things that you'd be doing? Where would you go? Great. The best thing about being financially independent is that it gives you choices. You're able to do what you want, when you want, and how you want. And quite frankly, that's what we all strive to do, and where we all would like to be someday in our life. That's step 6. Now, our goal is to provide an income stream at retirement that you cannot outlive. Okay, that's step 6. Step 7, estate planning. What we always suggest to all of our clients is to have a trust or a living will or will in place which protects your assets from your estate. Because quite frankly, what you would prefer to do is have your assets be transferred directly to your family rather than to the federal government to go through probate. It costs thousands of dollars of your assets. So we suggest that you have something in place that protects your assets. I always suggest to refer to an attorney who can prepare these kind of documents for you. And if you don't have someone in mind that can do this for you, we work with several companies that we can refer that can prepare these kind of documents for you. But it's important to protect your estate and your assets from going through probate, and could really cost your family thousands of dollars. Now, let me ask you this. Out of the 7 steps that we talked about, expect what you expect, increase your cash flow, eliminate your debt, develop an emergency fund, protect what you have, build long-term financial independence, and estate planning. If there are 2 that are most important to you, which 2 would these be? Great, great. what I like to do is this. I want to tell you what we do. Okay, what we do is called a financial needs analysis. Okay, and so we can make sure the products that we offer to you are suitable for you. And in a second, I'm going to ask you a few questions to help determine what your needs and your future goals and dreams are. Then I'll take this information back to my office where we have a sophisticated software program where we'll input this information and it will help us develop a plan of attack around your needs and help you become one thing, and that's financially independent the soonest. So it's really, really awesome. It really is. Now, let me tell you the cost of this. When I come back, what I expect is some nice hot chocolate chip cookies and a nice tall glass of iced tea. And I'm just kidding. You're too serious there. But the companies that you choose to work to link up with to help you with your specific goals pay us. Okay, they pay us a referral fee or a commission. Now, you're not going to be billed for services rendered by us, so it's really a win-win situation. However, the information that I bring to you will only be as accurate as the information we put it into it. So work with me here. Work with me here because we're talking about your financial future. And if we do this thing right, it could potentially shave years off your retirement game. Now, the first 3 or 4 questions that I'm going to ask you are yes/no questions. Okay? And I can't have any maybes. So this will help me with the short and midterm goals that you have and answer a lot of questions where you're headed. So let me ask you this. Within the next 2 or 3 years, are you planning on making any major purchases? Great. John, man, this is going to be awesome. When we get back together in a day or two, John, you've got $500 that we can work with. Man, when we get back together, you're going to have a crystal clear picture of how and when you could potentially become financially independent, John. Fulfilling all your dreams and goals, and you are going to love it. Okay? But you're going to need to listen. And I'm going to spend some time on this because, John, I know you're serious, and I'm serious too. All right? It is going to be awesome. But, John, this is going to change the quality of your life. And you're going to owe me big time. All right? Now, it's very important that we build upon what we talked about today. And we need to set up a time in the next 24 to 48 hours. But if we got to go clear in the next week, John, we're going to have to go through everything all over again that we just covered. So we need to get back together soon as we can. And we're talking about your financial situation here. We're talking about your life here. So with that in mind, John, what's your schedule like tomorrow? I'm free tomorrow at 10 and 3 o'clock. Which one is better for you, 10 or 3? Great. Now, John, before I go, I have 2 questions for you. I have 2 questions for you. 2 important questions for you. If when I come back, John, I can show you a plan that meets your needs, not 80%, not 90%, but 100% in every way, and you're totally comfortable with, is there any reason why we couldn't do business? Great. Second question, John. Important question. After we do business, is there any reason why you wouldn't tell or feel comfortable providing me with the names of three or four people that you feel could really benefit from the services in the same way that I'm going to help you? Great. John, I will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I look forward to it. It's going to be awesome.